yeah, if you have already come in, please just also don't forget to put this link and send this link to many of your friends and maybe the people that you think they need to listen to this wisdom, this level 7 wisdom. Yay. Yeah, I don't want to come out to stop that dancing music. I love the music. Thank you so much, Brian. And thank you, everyone. I don't know whether the translators, you are ready for it. And yeah, if you can listen to can you put up your hands and let me see you? Yay, thank you. I I can see you. And yeah, our Russian translators ready, and also Chinese just translator Vivian. And yeah, I can see all of you. Oh, everybody, if you are not the translator, you don't need to put up your hand. Yes, yeah, just I would like all of us to send the flowers to all our translators. Yeah, the Japanese translators, are you ready? Yes. Yeah, if we don't have the translator, we cannot listen to this beautiful class. And guess what? We are here, and the final class of SCIM, and then this public class. First of all, I would like to show you this picture. It's a beautiful picture, like shows this guy is using the pen to create a beautiful world. Wow. Say, this is what DCIG is doing. And then to go around the world to help to teach everybody the pan wisdom. And then to help everybody to reach their 5 goals, right? But yeah, and our great teacher, like Geshe Michael, he write a beautiful DCIG manual and teach us to teach it. That's so beautiful. But if we don't have the very elegant way to teach it around the world, and then maybe, yeah, it won't help us that much. So today, and then Geshe Michael will first of all give us a beautiful lesson to help all of us around the world that we can share this wisdom beautifully and elegantly, universally. And yeah, so you're excited about that? Hi, yes. Yeah, yeah. If you want to get the teaching from Geshe Michael, and first of all, I think we all need to know how we can teach you elegantly around the world. So yeah, can we send the heart, beautiful heart and diamond and flowers to our teacher? And I don't know whether Geshe Michael is ready for this session. And maybe we need to send him also some cappuccino that he like, and maybe croissant and flowers and diamonds. Yay. Wow, I can see all our translators, they are already. And yeah, is Geshe Michael here?
I think I'm here. Hi.
Hey.
Thank you for the grandpa introduction. Okay, this is what we call our Mastering Professional Behavior class. And every time we have an SCIM term, we talk a little bit about how to behave professionally. And the most famous talk of this series is be careful to pay your taxes And don't mess around with other people's wife or husband if you're gonna be a teacher, okay? Like, control your pocket and behind your pocket, okay? And so that's mastering professional behavior, because our mission is a global mission. You know, we're trying to help many, many people. And when you're trying to help people, you have to be especially good behavior. You know, you cannot give people doubts, or you cannot hurt people. As a DCI teacher, you have to be especially careful. You have to be more careful than normal people, you know, to stay clean in your finances and to stay clean in your personal behavior. And because now you're not alone anymore, now you're part of a large organization teaching people around the world. And people will judge DCI, people will judge SCIM from your behavior. And it's not fair to me and Seiji, since we're so perfect. Just kidding. But it happens, okay? And people look at the teacher and they say, this person was trained at SCIM, but this person is not a very honest person and not a very nice person, and then therefore, SCIM and DCI must not be nice people. You see what I mean? So after you decide to be a DCI teacher, everything you do, you have to be more and more careful. You have to be much more careful than other people. These are the days of, you know, the internet. It takes about 5 minutes. It takes a lifetime. It takes 30, 40 years to get a good reputation. And in the modern world, it takes about 5 minutes to destroy your reputation. So you have to be very, very careful. And by the way, once the reputation is destroyed, it's very hard to recover. It's very hard to get it back. So we have to be super careful from the beginning. We have to be, we call in English, squeaky clean. We have to be super clean. We have to be good people. We have to take care to set a good example for our students. And it's important to talk about it because one bad person can ruin the reputation of the organization. You see, one teacher who behaves in a bad way, and again, it's usually sex or money, then they will get a bad reputation, and then they will give the organization a bad reputation. It's not fair, you know. This one person, there's 150,000 people in DCI, but one teacher who doesn't behave well can ruin the reputation of 150,000 people just by themselves. And you know, let me tell you, as an old man, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the one person who ruins the reputation of this organization, or who ruins the future of all of your friends because you couldn't control your emotions, or your spending, or something like that, okay? So think about it carefully. If you decide to be a DCI teacher after this training, then kind of you're under a lot of pressure to behave even better than normal people, okay? And it's difficult. It's a lot of pressure. But I think in the other way, when you are a good person and when you are keeping good behavior, I think you will find out that it's a blessing, that it's more fun, your life is more fun, you're more happy, you have better relationships with everybody. So I like the pressure of being a DCI teacher or working for DCI I like that pressure. It keeps me honest. It keeps me in good behavior. And I think you should do it too. I'm going to talk about each time we have an SCIM term, we talk about a different kind of good behavior. And I think, again, the most common two are how you behave with opposite sex, men and women, and also how you keep your finances. Are you honest? Do you pay your taxes? Like that. Those are the two most common ways that one person can ruin an organization. But there are countless ways. And as far as professional behavior, today I'd like to talk about a more positive one. And it's something that I've thought a lot about in my life. And it's something that I would like to share with you because I think it's a beautiful thing. So let's get going. I'm going to show you the first picture here. This is one of my teachers when I was, I was 17 years old, 16 or 17 years old. And I was in the high school, which is about 11th class in our school system. And they had a special English class for kids who got good grades. You know, we call it advanced English. And sometimes they call it college preparation or something like that. And it was a 2-year course, and this teacher taught the course, and her job, her name is Catherine Mortensen, and her job was to teach us how to write. And she, I want to tell you a little bit about her. First of all, out of her mouth every day comes the word Areté, Areté, and Areté, every day. For 2 years, you know. Areté is an old Greek word, and it means the pursuit of excellence. It means be very good at what you do, you know. Excellence means you're not just a pretty good DCI teacher. You're not just a pretty good seed system user. You are excellent. You are first class. You are amazing, you know. And she used to quote this to us, Areté, over and over and over. Every day in the class, she'd say, you are in the pursuit of excellence. I want from you excellence. I don't want less than that. I want excellent, you know. And she was tough. When I first met her, I didn't like her immediately. She was very old. She retired 2 years later. She was very skinny. She was she never smiled. She was really, really tough. And she was so old that she had bandages on her wrist to hold her wrist and everything. And she was just tough. And I was a good writer. I had a, you know, reputation in the school that I was a good writer, you know, and I could write long, beautiful essays, and all of my teachers were always happy with me. And I remember in the first day of the class, she said, okay, in my class, you will write an essay every night. Every night of the year, you will write an essay, you know, 5 pages. And I will check it myself. And she checked like 100 essays every night of the year. She checked 100 essays. And so I was like, oh, she's going to be so impressed with me, you know. She's going to say how amazing I am. And I wrote a long, you know, we call flowery essay, very beautiful, not so much content, just a lot of beautiful words. And I handed it in, and she gave it back to me. And I got a there was two numbers on the top. It was like 65 and 70 out of 100, you know. And I never got less than 99. I never experienced less than 99, you know. And she gave me 65 and 70. I was so angry, you know. And that paper looked like she shot a machine gun at it. It's red everywhere. Everywhere it's red, you know, like blood on my beautiful poetry, my beautiful writing. And she just killed everything. She cut many, many words. And she asked me, does this word do anything? Do you need this word? I said, I don't know. It's a beautiful word, you know. And she said, I don't want beautiful words. If the word says something, I want it. If the word doesn't say anything, I don't want it in the essay. Take it out, you know. And then she said, you see this word? You misspelled. You misspelled one word. I'm like, it's a 5-page essay. I'm just a kid. I misspelled one word. She said, in the future, don't forget, every time you misspell a word, your grade will go down one grade. You go from A to B, and then you go from B to C. 4 misspelled words, you fail the high school. You get kicked out of high school. I'm like, what? You know, you can't do that. She's like, yes, I can. You know, and she did that. And I remember one of my dearest teachers, when I was younger, he asked, I was his babysitter. And he was driving me home. He said, how's high school? I said, well, there's this one crazy lady, you know, and she's never satisfied. You make one spelling mistake, you lose 10 points, you know, it's unbelievable. So, you know, it's almost impossible to pass the course. And I really don't like her. I remember telling my dearest teacher that I hate this lady. And she's really bad and she's really mean, you know. And she didn't let up. She didn't, you know, she worked harder than all of us. And she did not she did not give up this idea that she will kill us and we will become Areté. She kept saying Areté. I want excellence. I don't want you to say nice things to me. And I don't care if you like me. I just want excellence from you. And I'm not satisfied unless you give me excellence. And I feel that way with DCI. I feel that way with DCI teachers, you know. I'm happy. I'm super happy to get up on a stage with lots of SCIM graduates. I'm super happy to, you know, we're going to go to Japan and China this month, at the end of this month. And I look forward to teaching with you, and I look forward to taking pictures on the stage together. I look forward to that. To me, it's very happy. But you have to be excellent. And this thing I learned from Mrs. Mortensen, you know. By the way, her name was Catherine. Her first name was Catherine. And it's very close to a West Chinese word, which is kachin, which means it's a very, very, very beautiful word. It means the kindness of my teacher. And it's a very famous word, kachin. Then later in my life, I thought maybe her real name is Katrin, because her name was Catherine. And in my 3-year silent retreat, I wrote a book, and this is here, and it's called, you can see it's called Katrin. And in my heart, I dedicated it to her. You know, this is a novel about a teacher named Katrin. And it's really about my teacher, Catherine. And if you have a chance, you should read it. It's a good book. I wrote it in my retreat, and it's a storybook, and I like it. It's a very deep storybook. So that's the idea of excellence. That's a teacher who said, I don't care, you know, how you feel. I don't care how pretty your words are. they must say something, and they must say something important, and you should not waste people's time by talking too much. Just say the thing, say it clearly, say it accurately, and always, always, always look for excellence. Pursue excellence. She kept saying Areté, Areté. By the way, later I realized that the Greek word Areté is related to the Sanskrit word Arya. Okay, it means go higher, be more excellent. Okay, so Areté came from Arya. Okay, it's kind of a strange coincidence. Okay. All right, and as a DCI teacher, I like this picture. This is an early DCI picture. These are some of our first teachers. And I wanted to say one thing, life is very, very short, okay? Life goes on very, very, very fast. 10 years will pass in a few, it feels like a few days, It's like very strange. Your life will go faster and faster. As you get older, your life will go faster and faster. And I say you will regret it if you don't do something with excellence. If you don't do something you can be proud of, if you don't accomplish something in your life, and by the way, it could be an inner thing that you accomplish, but excellence, in the pursuit of excellence. And I have to say that I think almost all the DCI teachers that I've worked with, they have gone on to do excellent things, and they have been excellent people, and they've been hardworking people. I'm looking at this picture. I mean, Peter and Maria have thousands of students now, and Igor is a director of DCI. Anton Kratasuk, he did a pen video. 1 million people watched it, and that's cool. Okay, so I'd say the pursuit of excellence. All right. Scott and Areté are famous real estate agents now. I talked to them this week. Okay. My next thing is there's a lot of pressure when you're working for an organization or when you're working any kind of company. There's a lot of pressure even in your life, in your family life. And there's all these kinds of pressure. There's personal pressure people put on you. Then there's pressures from your society. You're expected to do certain things. Then there's company pressures. Your company expects certain things. Your company is pushing you to do certain things. There's personality pressures. You put pressures on yourself. Human beings put pressures on themselves. Then you have colleague pressures. Your workmates, your friends, they put pressures on you. They say, just 5 minutes, Geshe, stuff like that. You have boss pressures. Your boss is always putting pressure on you. Then you have family pressures, Even you come home after work, you go from one pressure to the other kind of pressure. And I was there today. I had to, on the way here, I'm supposed to go to the gardening store and pick up supplies for the garden. And just before I came, I had to work in the garden, emergency work. And there's pressure, everybody has pressure. So there's a natural pressure on us to do things quickly and to not take much care and not do a good job. There's a pressure. All of these kinds of pressure on you. You're just one person. And then the whole country, the world, your family, your work, they're all putting pressure on you to do things. Everybody wants you to do things. And then there's a habit to do things without excellence. You see what I mean? You're like, Oh my God, today, so much pressure. My wife also wants me to feed the roses today. I had to do 3 roses today. And there's pressure, I'm like, I could just throw the rose fruit on the rose, and she asked me, did you feed the rose? I say, yeah, I fed the rose, just because I threw the fertilizer on the wrong place. But I did it. So what I mean is, your life will put a lot of pressure on you. And many times when you have a lot of pressure, you think, okay, I won't do such a good job. I don't have time. There's too much pressure for me to do a very good job. I'll just do enough to keep my family shut up, Then they won't bother me. Did you do the gardening? Yes. Did you feed the rose? Yes. They don't say, did you do it with Areté? Did you feed the rose well? And I say, no, I didn't. Are you kidding? I was in such a rush. I barely made it to the class to teach SCIM, I just rushed in here, I put on the wrong suit, by the way. Because, I don't have time to do it with excellence. Now, my grandpa's advice, do things with excellence, Just tell people to shut up. They want to give you extra jobs. They want to give you extra work. They put extra pressure on you. They say, rush over here and do this. You don't have to do much, Geshe. Just come for 5 minutes, come for 10 minutes. Then you gotta say, no, I'm not coming unless I can do a good job. I'm not gonna teach this class if you don't give me time to prepare. And you know who you are, not SCIM people. If you don't give me time to prepare, then I won't teach, okay? I won't come. I want to do a good job. I want to do it with excellence, okay? So my suggestion to you, as a SCIM graduate, teacher of the most important DCI level in history, don't let people put pressure on you, okay? To do a great job, to do an amazing job, sometimes you just gotta let other jobs go, and you gotta make your choices. And I say, do it with excellence, okay? Do it with excellence, all right? Don't let people press you. Don't let people give you too much to do, and then you have to do a lousy job. Just refuse it, okay? Just refuse it. You'll get fired a little bit once in a while. Your pay will get cut, something. Somebody will be upset at you. That's okay. Somebody's going to be upset sometimes. It's okay. Do a good job. Stick to excellence, and don't let people pressure you. If people are in a big rush, if the world is in a big rush, and they say, just do a lousy job, say, no, I don't do that, okay? I don't do lousy jobs, okay? My grandpa's advice. All right, then excellence becomes a habit, okay? And if you refuse to do things poorly, it becomes a habit. This is an old CSP class I gave about how to upgrade your brain, but it does become a habit. Okay, next picture, you guys. I tried really hard to find a picture of this guy. This is not the real guy. This is just like an AI. There's a guy named Otto Barnes, okay? And my dad owned a construction company. And he made a special product. And it was his idea, and it was a great idea. Like, he built hotels in Japan, and he did big parts of San Diego. He did big jobs. But one time he got a new idea, and if you have more kids and your house is too small, you go to the store, and he's got his representative sitting there at a table, and you sit down with the guy, and you say, I got too many kids. And they say, well, get rid of some of them. And then he said, no, I got to keep them. Okay, in that case, you need an extra room or 2 extra rooms. Yeah. Okay, so we do that. That's our company. We just put an extra room on your house. In like 2 months or 1 month, we put an extra room on your house. And and you pay us. And you can design the room and you can decide everything about the room. And then no trouble, no problems, no contractors, one-stop shopping. And we just put an extra room on your house, and it got very popular. His company got very successful. And he couldn't find workers. He couldn't find enough workers. And he was looking for someone to be a foreman or a small boss for putting houses, building houses and things like that. So this small man, he was, I don't know how many meters, 1.5 meters? Let's see, 3, 4, yeah. Just above 1.5 meter high. Very small man. And he has a big construction clothes on. So he looks like a little kid. The clothes are too big for him. And he looks like a little kid. And he has this old pipe, and this old straw hat from the middle of the United States. Very corny people. Like, we think they are very kind of, I don't know. They have high mind language, all the barns, I want to work for you. I need work, you got to work, And I look at my dad and I'm like, I don't think so. And he says, give him a try, let's give him a try, we need people. So he hired Otto Barnes temporarily, and he put him on a job, and he's unbelievable. He's the greatest house builder ever. I saw him work, and he's unbelievable. He's just unbelievable. And then when I went to university, I had to make some money. I got a scholarship, but I had to pay my own expenses. So, my dad said, you can work for Otto Barnes. You can work for my carpenter. So I worked for a couple of years in the summertime. And I worked for him, and he was unbelievable. He was a great carpenter and a great man. And here's a picture. You guys got the next picture. We built this, Otto and me built these houses on this cliff in San Diego over the ocean. Unbelievable. We built the houses together, and he taught me how to do everything, me and my brother. And that's a special part of like Los Angeles, San Diego area. And there's a lot of earthquakes there. So we had to build the building special. It was 2 stories, and the whole building was glass. That it's a very rich person. He wants the whole front of the building. It's like 20 meters high, 30 meters high, all glass. Then he wants to lay in bed halfway up, 15 meters up, and he wants to look at the ocean. So he's on the ocean, but he's on a cliff. And if the building moves a little bit, he dies. He falls off the cliff. And we worked on that building. I was one of the main carpenters, and we worked for 3 months to build that building. It was really, really difficult and very complex. Everything had to be earthquake proof. And we built it together. And I learned something from him. They asked him to finish it in 1 month. And they put a lot of pressure on him. And they said, Otto, you got to finish this in 1 month. And he said, you want a good job or you want a fast job? And my dad's like, well, fast is pretty good, you know. And Otto Barnes is like, I don't do bad work, you know. I don't care what you told the guy. I don't care how fast you want me to work. I'm going to do it right. You know, I'm going to build this house right. And this house is going to last forever. By the way, it's still there. I go see it every time I'm in San Diego. I built that house, I don't know, 35, 40 years ago. And it's a beautiful house. It's still there. And Otto said, he told me, boy, you know, we're not going to finish this fast. We're going to do it right, you know. And I said, well, my dad's going crazy. He yells every day. And he says, I don't care what your daddy yell or don't yell. We're going to do it right, you know. Areté, we're going to do it with excellence, you know. And I learned something from him. And he said, if you learn to do something with excellence, if you're never satisfied to do a half good job, the speed will come. The speed will come. You see, like the first time you do a job with excellence, it takes more time. And somebody else will do it faster than you. But just shut up and do it with excellence, you know? Then the next time you do it, you also do it with excellence, but you're faster, because excellence is also faster. You don't make mistakes. You don't have to fix things. And Otto Barnes taught me that, okay? And I want to teach you that, okay? Do a goddamn good job. And don't let anybody tell you to do a half-assed job, you know? Do a good job. Do it beautiful the first time. And if it takes longer and your boss gets upset, even if your boss is Seiji, just tell him, shut up. You know, I'm going to do this with excellence. You know, I'm sorry. I have to do it right. And I'm going to do a good job, you know. And then later, the speed will come. You will be able to do it faster. When you work with excellence, the speed comes higher and higher. You get faster and faster. You guys know I translate every morning. So I'm about 20 times faster than anyone that I think in the world, you know. But the work is careful. So you get the habit to do it well, and you do it slow until you can do it well. And then you just keep excellence, okay? You have standard, high standard, and you do it right, and then you will go faster. If you do a lousy job, if you teach a lousy class, lousy DCI class, you will just get the habit to do a lousy class, okay? Don't do a class if you cannot do it well, okay? If you don't have time to do a good class, then don't do it. Cancel the class, okay? And that's the next subject here. What that lady is saying is, I didn't have time to prepare my class. The class is not perfect, you know? I don't feel like I'm on fire about this class. Then Grandpa says, don't teach it and just stop, okay? Cancel the class, okay? If you cannot teach the class with excellence, if you didn't have time to create an amazing class, then don't do it. I had this fight recently with some small lady from Shenzhen who wants me to teach extra university classes. And I'm like, no. I'm like, sorry, I have a standard. I do amazing classes, and I don't do classes that aren't amazing. And I can't do it, you know, I don't have time. So be tough, And if someone tries to push you to do a class that's not amazing, then just stop like a donkey. Donkeys are very good. They know when to stop. They will stop. Nobody can make them go. You can beat them for 2 hours. They will not move, you know. So just become a donkey, all right? And say, I'm sorry, I will not teach a bad class. You can cancel the class. I will not teach a bad class, okay? I did that. Grandpa did that. You don't know how many classes I canceled. But don't teach a class if it's not amazing, okay? Just don't teach it, all right? Stop. If someone bothers you about it, you can send them to Grandpa. All right. Now, this next picture, I got a story behind this one. So when I got into the jewelry business, as you know, the first time I touched a diamond, a real physical diamond, I didn't know anything about diamond. If you give me, I don't know, piece of sugar or you give me a diamond, I don't know the difference, you know. I never held a diamond in my fingers. I never touched a diamond, you know, until I started to get into the diamond business. I didn't ever touch a diamond. I remember I was in a meditation and I realized I have to work in the diamond business. And I was scared because I say to myself, I never touched a diamond in my life. I never held a diamond in my life. And now I have to work in this business all day. You know, I don't know anything. I never even saw a diamond in my hand. You know, we call it raw diamond. I never saw one. And then I said, oh, well, if I want to work in the diamond business, I got to educate myself. I got to get some education. And there were a couple of courses, like PhD of gemology, okay? And I took them. It took quite a few years for me to finish because I was also working and I was doing my Geshe studies. But I finished an American degree in gemology. And then after that, I took the British certification, which took about 3 years. And very, very tough, very, very tough laboratory work, a lot of laboratory work. And I passed. In the American certification, they give you 20 stones, they give you a bunch of instruments, and the final exam is to check all the stones and tell what they are or if they are real or not. And you have to get 20 out of 20 or you fail. And then you have to spend thousands of dollars and take the course again. I think it's a trick. So I got 19. You know, I failed one stone. One stone, I told the teacher, this is an artificial ruby. This is not real. This is a man-made perfect ruby, but it's not natural. Then he said, no, this stone was tested in many laboratories. They all say it's natural, you know. So you fail. I said, I object. I want you to check it right now. I want you to, let's put it under a microscope. Let's debate. You know, and he checked it and it was artificial. And how many students they failed, I don't know. Each one, they got several $1,000s. And I said, and he said, you know what, you're right. And the examination is wrong. And I was really happy. So I got 2 degrees. And I learned to use all these instruments, spectroscope, refractometer, heavy gravity liquids, stuff like that. Many, many instruments. And we studied each gemstone on separate weeks. So there's probably a couple of hundred important gemstones. And I remember we got to jade, you know, we were gonna study jade. And jade is a special problem. It's very, very popular in China. It's very, very popular in Asia. And there's a fake jade called nephrite. It's a darker green usually. But it's very difficult to tell nephrite from jade. So there's jadeite, jade, and nephrite. And then it's very difficult to test them. Normally, jade has been used like you see it here in a carving. So it's not like, oftentimes it's not in a ring, it's not in a bracelet, it's a piece of art. And you cannot use what we call destructive tests. You cannot chip a piece off to test it. You know, you can't smash the statue's finger or something to make sure it's real jade. You know, it's very delicate to check a jade, a very expensive piece of jade. It's very delicate to test it, you know. And we went into the laboratory, and the teacher said, okay, this week we're gonna learn about jade, and especially how to tell it from nephrite and jadeite, you know, and the test is very unusual. And we're all like, what? And he said, this test is not like any gemstone in the world. And we said, why? And he said, the first step to test a piece of jade is to step back away from the jade and look at it. And we're like, what? And he said, is the carving exquisite? You know, is the carving high quality? Is it really high quality? You know, and it's the first question. You don't use chemical, you don't use refractometer, you don't use light, you don't use specific gravity. Just step back and look at the piece, you know, and ask yourself, was this carved by a master? By the way, this particular piece was carved by a master. You know, to get such detail out of a single stone is unbelievable. This piece was carved by a master. So how do you know it's real jade? $100 question. I'll drink coffee. How do you know it's real jade? How do you know?
Because of the fine carving.
Is it a master?
Yeah, Geshe got it. You're not even the student in SCIM. Should I give her the money? I don't know. Anyway, I have to keep my promise. $100 for Geshe. Yeah, listen. The king or the emperor who can afford to buy that big piece of jade is not going to give it to a stupid carver. They're going to give it to someone who's a master. So therefore, the opposite. If the piece was carved by a master, the jade is probably genuine. You're not going to hire a master for $100,000 to carve a piece of useless rock. You see what I mean? So hopefully the king had someone check it. All right. But that's an interesting thing. What I'm trying to say is a DCI teacher should be like a piece of jade. Okay? A DCI teacher should be like a piece of jade. You know, when the person comes to your class and they see how you teach the class, then they can say, this is the real thing. This pen thing, or, you know, whatever you're teaching, okay? The other person can say, that's the real thing. That diamond, touching the diamond world talk, that touching the diamond world talk, it must be true. The content must be true. Why? Because they have a master carving it. Got it? Okay? If the teacher is amazing, the student will trust the content. You see what I mean? It's not always true. There are good fake teachers, right? But in general, a master teacher will not deal with crappy material. Okay? And as a DCI teacher, as an SCIM graduate, you should have a high standard, all right? Don't teach stupid stuff. Don't waste your time. Don't study stupid stuff, you know? Study the great things. Study the amazing things. Don't waste your time teaching something silly or something useless, okay? Like, check the quality of the jade and then carve it. Okay, check the quality of what you're teaching and then give it your whole heart. And never waste your time on lower subjects, okay? I mean, things that maybe aren't true. Don't waste your time, okay? You are a highly trained master. You got through, I don't know, the most amazing course in the world, okay? Then don't waste your time on garbage, okay? You are not producing fake jade for, you know, tourists. You're a master. You're doing carvings for the emperor, okay? Which means you are teaching DCI. Don't teach lousy material. Don't carve fake jade, you know? Be a master and stick to the good stuff. Okay. All right. One more thing here, and then I have another comment to make. And by the way, we're gonna do Q&A after this. I guess an hour after this or something like that. And so don't worry, I will do Q&A. I cannot escape. I have to do the whole hour Q&A. So don't worry. This is Mahatma Gandhi. I like him a lot. He achieved freedom for his people by refusing to fight. Okay? Oftentimes we talk about people who fought for their freedom or something like that. And he achieved a pretty lasting freedom. It's been almost 100 years for his country, by refusing to hurt other people. Okay, and here's his quotation about being a teacher. He said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." Okay, so in your life, always imagine that you might get your final car accident today. You might catch some disease today. You know, there may be something happen that kills you today. Live your life as if it's the last thing you're ever going to do. And you know, if someone told me, Geshe, you know, you're going to die tomorrow. I went to the doctor today. We both have the same problem. Me and the doctor both have bad kidney. And, you know, our life is not very short. And they said, you know what? You just have to use your time well. You know, you don't know how much time you have left. You don't know. So use every day as if it's your last day, you know. Do that. And I think if you really think about it, to be a teacher, and to teach about touching the diamond world, it's the best way you can spend the last day of your life. If you don't have any more life, if your life comes to the end, and people say to you, Emily, you know, you got one more day, what do you want to do? I hope you stand up and say, I want to teach level 7. My last thing I want to do, I want to teach level 7. I want to go out on level 7, and so I think personally, the quality of this topic, the meaning, the deep, deep meaning of this topic, if you only have one day left in your life, if you only have one thing left to teach in your life, I think it's a good choice. I think it's a good choice. Okay. Now, Mahatma Gandhi said one more thing. He said, when you do your work, imagine that you're going to die tomorrow and put your heart into it and only carve the high quality jade, right? But at the same time, always be willing to learn more, even if it's going to take a long time. It seems like a contradiction, okay? Do your work as if you're going to die tomorrow. Learn new things as if you're going to live forever, okay? Like, go slow, enjoy, pick the topics that take 20 years to finish, and I do that. Like I had to choose a new translation. A few days ago, I was choosing a new translation. I have one that will take, I don't know, normally it might take 20 years or something. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that one, and people are like, well, Geshe, see, if you live 20 years, you're going to be, you can't remember your name after that. And I'm like, yeah, but when you're learning something, go slow, take your time, enjoy as if you're going to live forever, okay? And don't rush, don't skip steps, do the hard things, even if they take a few years to learn, do it, okay? When you teach the highest quality stuff. When you learn as if you're going to live forever, and start the very difficult things first, okay? So that's a kind of excellence, that's a kind of habit of people who are into excellence, okay? I got about 5 minutes left. I want to say one more thing that we usually talk about with every graduating class of SCIM. And that's called the 0.0% policy, okay? It's a joke, okay? I mean, 0 is already 0. But SCIM, we have a special policy. DCI, we have a special policy. And we always talk about it during the ethics class. And it's called 0.0% policy. What's that mean? It means that DCI as a company, we like to help as many people as we can, and many people ask me to go to different countries. I have been to very strange countries. I spent the whole night in Kyrgyzstan in a line to get my passport stamped, the whole night in a riot. It was a riot. People were going crazy. And I just stood there because I thought it was important to go to another country, a strange country. Then I went to Uzbekistan, the guy telling me, we just start to talk, and he said, the police just came. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay. And he said, well, be careful. And I'm like, okay. So I'm happy to go to any country. I'm happy to go to many places. I'm happy to meet new people who have different customs. But I learned one thing that I would like us to do in DCI, in SCIM, is respect the people, country that you're going to. Respect that country. When I was at Princeton, I got a grant to study in India. And I got credit for 1 year of my degree. And but I never went to India. And I went to my anthropology professor. His name was Barnett, and he studied in India for many years. And I got a special appointment with him, and I sat down. He's a very famous guy. I sat down in his office. I said, look, I'm going to India, and I need help. I need advice. I need you to tell me what to do, you know. And he said, I'll tell you one thing. And I'm like, what? And he said, if someone offers you something to eat it and shut up, you know. And I said, well, why do you say that? And he said, it might be dirty. It might be too hot to swallow. You know, it might be the one thing you hate the most in your life, you know. But when you go to another person's country, respect their customs and respect their food and eat their food and shut up and smile and say, it's the most delicious thing. Do you have more? You know, and always follow the custom of the country where you go, okay? So DCI has this policy. Every country has a different policy about different things, especially religion, okay? Every country in the world, they have their own religion or they have their own policy against religion, but every country has their own policy. Every nation, every race of people, they have their own traditions and they have their own customs, you know. What your mom and dad did at home is not what the mom and dad of the other people in DCI did, you know, especially if they're from different parts of the world. Everybody's mom and dad has different customs, different religion, different habits, different traditions. And as a DCI teacher, you are a guest in other people's countries, okay? And especially Americans, when they go to other countries, they want to improve everybody. And they want to show them how they should act or what they should eat or what they should do. And I'm especially talking to my American students. Respect the other people's country, respect their law, respect their customs, respect their tradition. You are a guest in other people's countries, okay? And every DCI teacher is going to be teaching in many countries, even online, okay? Every DCI teacher, even from the very beginning, there will be your students, even if they speak your language, they may be from other countries. And those countries may have other customs, other laws, other traditions, especially about religion, okay? So some countries, they have very strict laws about teaching religion. Every country is sensitive about it. And at DCI, we follow those laws, okay? We follow the traditions, we follow the laws of the country where we are teaching, okay? So if you're gonna teach for DCI, one thing we have 0.0% policy. It means how much religion can you teach in a DCI course online especially? What's the answer? 0.0, okay? We are not Buddhist, we are not Christian, we are not Muslim, we are not communist. We are just teaching people how to have a happy life, how to be successful. We are not supporting one religion more than something else. We respect other people's tradition. We respect the laws of the government where we are teaching. And I really, really ask you, as the grandpa of DCI, please keep this rule, okay? Don't be one of those naughty people say, oh, Geshe, I'm just going to teach an hour of meditation online that nobody will know. And listen, with the AI, with the modern world, everything you do is visible to everybody, everything you do, especially everything you do online, anybody can watch you, anybody can see, okay? Don't be stupid. Don't be naive. Don't be stubborn, okay? Just follow the rules, follow the traditions of the country that you're working in. And you're a guest in other people's country. You are not the boss of their country. Okay, so follow their rules. And it's your job to find out the rules, okay? Pay your taxes when you do a program in another country. Make sure you know the rules about the taxes. Make sure you get the money properly. Do everything according to the law. And that's a DCI tradition. Okay, can you save $50 if you cheat? Yes. And you'll get everybody in trouble. And it's not worth it, okay? Pay the total taxes. Follow the rules of the government happily. It's not it's like going into somebody else's home and telling them, you shouldn't eat the kapse, or you shouldn't eat the something this like that. You can't go into other people's home and tell them what to eat. That's their home. Okay? So as a DCI teacher, you are a guest in other people's country or even in your own country. Follow the rules. Don't get DCI in trouble. Don't get us kicked out of some country because you want to teach something that's not allowed. Okay? Please don't do that. Okay? There's so many beautiful things you can teach legally, properly, happily. You don't need to do anything dishonest or against the law, okay? All right, I'll see you at Q&A. I hope you think of some good Q&A. If there's no good questions, I'm gonna go to sleep during that hour, okay? All right. All right, I'll see you in an hour, Seiji?
No, in 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Yay. Okay, see you then. Thank you.
Hey,
Bye.
thank you. Thank you, Grandpa. Thank you for the wonderful,
Hallelujah.
yay. Thank you for the wonderful ethic class. And yeah, let's stick to the 0.0 policy while we are teaching. That help like DCI can be teach around the world and create a perfect world, create a beautiful world that we all want to see. And also, yeah, we can also